Good evening, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. And may I please get the slides?
Dr. Nishant? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope slides are visible. And I'll be speaking on reinventing adjuvant therapy in EGFR mutated early lung cancer. Second slide. So, as we know, the survival outcome in non-small cell lung cancer in resectable setting needs to be improved, and non-small cell lung cancer, though it represents 80% of all lung cancer diagnosis, the rest being small cell lung cancer with an estimated 30% of the patients. So virtually only 30% of the patients are resectable at diagnosis, and we hardly see such cohort of patients who are upfront resectable. And global 5-year overall survival rates with resectable non-small cell lung cancer, as we see from stage 1B, again there is a chance of recurrence. Patients who will die of disease or whether the disease will recur is up to 25% in stage 1B. Stage 2, it is approximately 35 to 50%. Next slide. So what is the testing recommendation for early lung cancer? So as we are very clear, then in metastatic setting, we have to do lung NGS testing, and we have variety of gene mutations and targetable gene mutation for which we have a particular targeted therapy. But specifically in adjuvant setting, non-metastatic resectable lung cancer, we are presently testing 2 to 3 gene mutation, one being EGFR, the most common being again exon 19 deletion, and the second being L858R point mutation. Second being PDL1 positive, more than 1% tumor cell, as we have seen the role of adjuvant immunotherapy. And even ALK positive tumors, we are seeing a good role of alectinib in adjuvant setting. So these are the common gene mutation which we test even in patients who are non-metastatic early stage lung cancer. Next slide. So current testing and treatment pattern. So what is the prevalence of EGFR in resected stage 1 to 3 non-small cell lung cancer? So as we can see that 19 deletion, again it is common up to 50% in terms of the subtype. Second common being L858R point mutation, approximately 36%, and the rest being the other compound uncommon and T790M mutation. So approximately 50% prevalence has been seen of EGFR mutation in stage. Next slide. What is the prevalence of EGFR in resected stage 1 to 3 non-small cell lung cancer? And as we can see, the prevalence is 4.3% overall, and in stage 1 being less, then stage 2 1B 2.6, then 2A 38%, then 2B 7.4%, and so on it is increasing. So patients with stage 2 bar 3 non-small cell lung cancer, only 46% patient receive adjuvant systemic therapy. Next slide. So what we can see that in these early resectable non-small cell lung cancer, 40 to 50% of the patients, who remain cancer free, but 50 to 60% of these patients actually recur. That recurrence could be local or distant. So that means it is a huge unmet need. so that we can improve our neoadjuvant and adjuvant settings, so that we can actually improve outcome in patients who underwent curative intent surgery. Next slide. Adjuvant chemotherapy after surgery for stage 1B to 3A non-small cell lung cancer, improved overall and disease-free survival. So we have seen, lung adjuvant cisplatin evaluation trials. There are meta-analysis including 5 most common trial, which has included cisplatin as one of the chemotherapy drug in adjuvant setting. And what has been seen of disease-free survival by approximately 5%. Next slide. So the role of EGFR TKI. So the role of EGFR TKI in adjuvant settings were, that was a old thing. So lot of trials have been done previously, but they were incorporating either the first or a second generation TKI, like the SELECT trial, including stage 1 to 3A EGFR mutation, that including erlotinib, and we have seen the disease-free survival improved, numerically 88% versus 76%. Again, RADIANT trial, where erlotinib was compared with placebo after adjuvant chemotherapy, and again there was a clinical meaningful improvement in disease-free survival up to 46 months in EGFR mutation versus 28 months. Same goes with EVEN trial, which is stage 3 EGFR muted, that compared erlotinib versus adjuvant chemotherapy. Again, there was a significant improvement in the adjuvant setting. Disease-free survival improved up to 42 months from 21 months. Again, the CITON trial, disease-free survival improved in geftinib and BR1. There was no DFS or OS benefit. So there were trials which were done previously. We knew there are certain benefits because we have seen an excellent overall survival and progression-free survival of, EGFR second and third generation TKI in metastatic setting, and we wanted to translate these benefits into resectable setting also, because we know that these patients also, despite these patients being in early stages, still the rate of recurrence is quite high. Next slide. So current evidence of EGFR TKI from randomized trials in adjuvant EGFR mutant non-small cell lung cancer improved disease-free survival, but no. And so as we can see, these are all those adjuvant trials. What we discussed in the previous slide, EVENS, RADIANT trial of erlotinib, geftinib, EVENS trial, and CITON trial of geftinib. All these adjuvant trials have actually shown some benefit in terms of disease recurrence, close to 48 to 50%. So almost 50% hazard ratio we have seen, 0.50, and we knew there is some benefit, but the OS benefit was not there, and moreover there was no long-term trials. There was no long-term studies. Long-term follow-up was also not there. So maybe it require more studies, more follow-up, and probably a trial with a third generation TKI. Next slide. Yeah, so why have these data not resulted in a change to clinical practice? Because trial is limited by design, size, and other factors. So the trials are not uniform. The patient characteristics are also not uniform. No OS benefit has actually been demonstrated. And so we are unclear if this adjuvant EGFR TKI actually resulted in cure, or it is just delaying the recurrence. So we do not know whether this is an actual benefit the events, or it is actually resulting in a cure. And also we do not know about the exact duration of treatment and what should be the appropriate drug sequence. Next slide. So now coming to the ADAURA trial. So this included patients with completely resected stage 1B, 2, 3A non-small cell lung cancer who were exposed to adjuvant chemotherapy or not. Key inclusion criteria were age more than 18 years, included majorly patient from Japan and Taiwan with a good PS of 0 to 1, and patient had confirmed EGFR mutation exon 19 deletion or L858R point mutation, brain imaging if not completely completed pre-op, and complete resection with negative margin, plus there was certain gap between the surgery and randomization, 10 weeks without adjuvant chemotherapy, and we can actually enroll patients up to 26 weeks with adjuvant chemotherapy. Patients were stratified based on stage, EGFR mutation, and race, and the randomization arm was osimertinib 80 mg once daily versus placebo, and planned treatment duration was 3 years. So treatment was continued until disease recurrence. Treatment completion discontinuation criteria met. So follow-up was until recurrence. Primary endpoint being disease-free survival from stage 2 to stage 3A, and secondary endpoint was in the overall population that included stage 1B till 3A landmark disease-free survival rate OS. Next slide. So ADAURA trial, what we have seen that it improved the disease-free survival it improved disease-free survival in stage 2 to 3A as well as in overall survival up to hazard ratio of 0.23. That means 70 to 80% reduction in disease recurrence or any untowards event. And to be precise, you can see median DFS of 65 months in osimertinib versus 20 months in placebo. So almost 3 times. Next slide. So adjuvant osimertinib has significantly improved. As we know, osimertinib in FLORA trial, that it has a very good CNS efficacy and it has actually reduced CNS disease-free survival. Same is also in the adjuvant setting. It has been seen that it actually delayed, CNS recurrences and with a good CNS efficacy. Next slide. So regarding safety analysis, no new adverse event has been seen as compared to primary readout of ADAURA data. We can see, so any adverse effect is 98% as compared to placebo. But the important point is serious adverse events were 20%. Adverse event leading to discontinuation was 13%. Adverse event leading to dose reduction 12%, and dose interruption 27%. So whatever adverse event, discontinuation, reduction, interruption, it is ranging between 13% to up to 27%. And no new safety data event has been observed even in the adjuvant setting, which is which so the data is consistent with the FLORA trial with no new adverse event. Next slide. So the key point is, in order to improve survival, we need to actually identify the patients early and take more efforts. And we should never miss an opportunity to test patient for actionable mutation. This even apply to early lung cancer, especially EGFR mutation. Collaboration, as we know, with multidisciplinary team is quite important, because in lung cancer, we need the incorporation of all the branches, including surgical oncology, radiation, medical, as well as nuclear medicine, in order to improve the survival. Next slide. So patients may ask for treatment option for best survival probability. So we should discuss each and every option and we should provide them with the best available data. ADAURA data gives the probability of patients to remain cancer-free along with survival benefit, though the trial is immature for OS benefit because the follow-up of this trial is only for 2 years. But in 2 years also, for the disease-free survival, it has actually shown a very good benefit. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So only constraint is financial toxicity in adjuvant setting, especially when we are not sure about the OS data. But as we know that lung cancer, even in the early stages, the recurrence rates are quite high, and so if there is some data on any data that improves survival in this adjuvant setting, we should be encouraged to share these data with our patients and give them an option to decide on whether any adjuvant therapy they would be offered to them to increase the disease-free survival. Moreover, with the long-term follow-up data, we'll be more confident regarding this TKI in adjuvant setting if we get some benefit even in OS, but that require long-term follow-up. And we are seeing increasingly more and more, trials are incorporating whether it is adjuvant immunotherapy like atezolizumab or pembro in adjuvant setting to improve the outcomes, or whether it is, ALK inhibitors or EGFR inhibitors, which are being increasingly used from the metastatic setting. Now these drugs we are increasingly using in early stages or from 1B to 3A, where we know the recurrence rate is quite high, and efforts are there to improve the outcomes in these stages as well. So thank you everyone. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja.